Welcome, everybody. I'm John Zidar, also known as Wizzy, the stock wizard. We're going to do a live episode here, which means God only knows what's going to happen or what's not going to happen, which happens to be the case more often. Certainly apologize for last week. We had a problem with StreamYard. They did an update, made a few changes, and I wasn't aware of what changes they made. So I was out of the loop. And so were you, obviously. So I have checked all my wires. I have checked all my water levels. Looking at my comments, seeing if anybody's saying anything. Looks like we're all good to go. Swear to God, folks, I don't do this on purpose. So we are doing this because, well, I want to. You know, I share hot stocks with you all week. I try to anyways, over there at Penny Boys, which reminds me, we just made a change over at Penny Boys. They gave me my own page. We do scalping primarily where I'm at. We also had a lot of swing traders in there talking other stuff as well. So what we've done is just pulled all those scalps and momentum plays over to the Stock Wizards momentum page. So that's where you're going to find me over there. It's not the free members page. We've changed the name of it. And now we've opened up a second page for slower trades. I'm not talking about weeks or anything. They're day trades, you know, short swing trades, things like that. So if you're interested, we have now made it easier to find the sort of trade you're looking for and the people that are trading those trades. So you're not trading alone and you're getting information fed to you through the day. I'd like to see you there. So speaking of seeing you there, my gang is here, and they're coming in different orders here. That's kind of interesting. That's okay. It's not a race. I tell everybody it's not a race. Jamie Mendez was first, though. Yay! Belmore with a close second. Belmore is normally here every day early. I find her at the door. I've got to move her so I can get the door open. Good to see you, Belmore. The underdog, Dino Trades, Mark Ryan. He's my compadre over there on the, I was going to say the free members page, the Stock Wizard Momentum page. We're going to have to find a SWMP. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Maybe not. And that's pretty much it. That's okay. This is being recorded, so others are going to be watching it. I do have all the stocks that you've requested. We're going to take a look at them. I have actually got a new setup that we're going to be trying today, simply because I was drawing way too much power having two browsers open. I run this connection to you on one browser, and I was using another browser because it allows me to categorize all my windows together as I want. This one does the same thing, but not as nicely, but I think I can work with it. What it does do, though, is it doesn't erase my highlights. I won't have to worry about coming to a page and not knowing what I was going to share with you. So we've got it all set up. I'm in a good mood. So first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Acon. Acon comes to us by way of Jamie Mendez. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your partition, dude. This company is called Aclarion. They are a medical MR spectroscopy company. They do scans of your body with magnetic resonance and see different aspects of your body depending on where they're looking and how strong the magnetic resonance is. They've got strong financial positions and funding. They've adjusted their OS. I caught that. I was going to let it go by, but I always like to verify when I want to tell somebody else. And basically, I've already gone through the filings prior to this so we can save time. Whatever there is to share, I've already got up to share with you. So Aclarion. Let's go to the front page here. Let's see. This is an American company based out of Colorado. Finished today at 69 cents. Ooh, had a hard day. Now, I did pull up the charts, and it seems to me I remember noticing that about a week ago, 5 days ago, Aclarion had a big drop, and she's been flat ever since, if I'm remembering it correctly, and she just isn't doing anything right now. I may be wrong because she dropped. I do see a big drop of 15.5% today, which is 12 cents. This is a penny stock in the major exchange, so you're not going to have to pay anything for your transactions up there like you do on the OTC. You get to trade pre-market, aftermarket, which you never get to do with OTC. There's a lot more volume, a lot more money on the major exchange, which is what you need as a trader, and a lot more rules to keep the companies honest. That's good for us too. So what information have I found for Clarion? Well, as I said, the company works with this MS spectroscopy. We're going to call it MRS. MRS, and they are using it particularly in cases like your vertebrae, finding the exact spot of pain. I guess we have stuff that can do this, but it's not as precise as this. This is called the NOCIS scan, and this is the one they've been pushing a lot. You're going to see a lot of this talked about in the news. Now, I've jumped into a filing. This filing was almost like a stockholder update. It gave us a lot of information. They tell us their current cash balance is $15.2 million. This is where I get their share count, because when we look at the shares, it's really, really low. I think it's under 1 million, which is why I verified it. I went to their most recent financial. That's what I was going to share with you. It's a bigger number, 8 million. Well, I found this. This says as of March 12th, which was just yesterday, so obviously it's been updated or changed. It's now 13.7 million. That's our outstanding share count. And they tell us we just had a reverse stock split here recently, a big one, 1 to 335, which means for every 335 shares you had, you got one new share. That share was increased in value by 335 times. So you didn't lose any money, but it did kick up your average price. And if the stock fell after that reverse stock split, your losses were compounded. I mean, you are so far down, and I know what I'm talking about because I've been through 72 reverse stock splits and lost over $40,000. So don't let anybody tell you a reverse stock split isn't going to hurt you. The hell it doesn't. If it doesn't climb, you're getting beat, guaranteed. But this is the strange part. They have another reverse stock split that they voted on September of last year that is approved, and they're reminding us it is still on the table and they could use it. It is a 1 to 5 up to a 1 to 50. So if you thought we were out of hot water, I guess we're not. What else have I got here for us? That's the one we just looked at. News. Going back here to just the beginning of February, the company announced that Clarity trial for NOAScan now fully funded. So they've got cash on hand. They've got their NOAScan trial being fully funded for them. This is all good. U.S. patent on expanded applications. Their patents, normally say it's good for this. Well, that protects you if anybody tries to use it for that. But if they try to use it for that, and the other thing, they can do that. So you start covering your bases and say, well, we can use it for that and the other thing as well. Then they started making some deals here. Their first commercial agreement. That means they're just coming into revenues. I don't remember what their revenues are, but that's what first commercial agreement means with Scripps Health. This is a medical company down in San Diego, California. So they're going to be working in Southern California now, getting this equipment down there. And the same thing's going on in New Jersey and New York with RadNet. They're making use of their technology up in that area of the country. I got one more window here. Piece of news. Yeah, in case I forgot, talking about the Southern California with Scripps Green and Scripps Health, who is going to make use of their technology. So let's see what the relative volume was for the company today. Down. Almost 50%. We dropped from 7.1 million as a daily average over the last 30 days down to 3.3 million today. Share structure. See, I always want to verify that. And you can go straight to a 10K or 10Q. You only have to go down a little bit. The first chunk of numbers that they start to give you at the bottom, they tell you about all their shares. And they tell you how many shares are authorized, how many shares outstanding. They don't tell you the float. And they'll give you 2 dates, and you can see exactly what's going on there. But they updated us even further. So now instead of 500,000, instead of 8 million, we're at 15.5 million, which is nothing to complain about. Any of those numbers are great with me. Market cap. Wow. Okay, the market cap's going to be up to, if you've got 15 million and the price is a little over 50 cents, you're going to be at about 8 million. Our market cap's around there. Taking a look at the financials, they've got some money coming in, but they haven't even broke $100,000 over the last 4 years, and they haven't made a profit yet. Looking at the quarterlies, they haven't made a profit yet, and they can't break $20,000 every quarter. Something's got to change here. They've got a commercial contract. That should change things. Balance sheet for the company. Remembering those 3 zeros, we've got 1.3 million in the bank, 3.1 million in assets. Liabilities are low, not even a full million. So we are holding stockholder equity of 2.5 million. We've got a little bit of revenues, no profits to talk about, but we aren't holding a bag. Literally, the investors have some stockholder equity here of 2.5 million for a low float. Disclosures, we've already covered that. So there you go, folks. What's our catalyst then? I guess it's just that they have a commercial contract not only in San Diego, but in New York and New Jersey. And I do believe, I thought I saw something about a patent. No. There's the other thing I wanted to mention. They have a 10K coming out at the end of March, which is always good. That's going to be an annual report. Annual reports give you more information than a quarterly report. You ever want to do due diligence on a company, go straight to the 10K. Get used to reading them, folks. They're all laid out the same. So when you get used to finding what you're looking for repeatedly, you're going to know exactly where to go in every single 10K and 10Q and be able to get what you want, just like that. All right, enough of the text information. Let's go take a look at the digital. Yes, you're following me. Everybody here? Nobody screaming? We're all good? Yeah, we're all good. Oh, I'm not set up here. All right, let me see. I was just getting rid of my last put. I had 2 puts on Apple today. Apple took a big fall. Lots of the market took a big fall today. All right, we are looking at Acon. I've got this all set up. Should be number 9. It is number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Anybody know what I'm saying? If you listen to the Beatles, you know what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to go back to a full year so we can get a general idea of what the stock's been doing and where it's gone. Well, you can see we've had reverse stock splits. Even though they don't have any purple bubbles here, you can't count on Thinkorswim to tell you all the information. We've had at least a 1 in 335 reverse stock split. The reason I knew that immediately was that high bubble is silly. It's not too bad. It's $231. But considering that they're not making any revenues, there's no way it was ever worth that much. So the reason that high bubble got that way is when a reverse stock split happens, they multiply the entire chart by the ratio of that stock split. This one was 335. So every number going back, I don't care if this thing goes back 20 years, they multiply every number by that reverse stock split. So if the high was a penny that day, it says it was $3.35. If it was $1, $335. And they're not going to fix it. It's not a temporary thing. That is going to stay that way. I hate it. So somewhere around here, we had those reverse stock splits. And as you can see, she hasn't been doing a whole lot of anything. But between the 2 bubbles, there is some room to move. But we really can't see it on the early chart. Let's come down to the 6 month. We're in a downtrend. We've been breaking through the 200 with our low float. Yeah, she can move quick, but there's no way she's breaking out on a falling 200. That is so rare, we just don't see it. Now, that was a big rip, but she didn't break out. She came right back down and crashed hard. You go to one extreme, look for it to go to the other extreme. It does that very, very often. We came down from, nope, can't trust that number, $129. We came down from that high down to here, went sideways, dribbling, and right now she is setting up. Let me get rid of all these lines. Ring my phone if I forget. I'm going to take these away so we can see what we're looking at. All right. Everything is still falling. We've got a falling 200 MA and a falling 200 Hall. It's purple. This blue one here rises and then turns purple when it falls. Our price is under everything. Every single MA, including the 9-day. You can't climb until you're on top of the 9. That's the first baby step. We haven't even taken that baby step yet. Our oscillators aren't showing a lot of heat here. They're all pretty planned, sitting cool. Jumping down to our 20-day, 1-hour view. Well, she definitely had some excitement here. This was March 3rd, to March 6th. Lots of volatility. Basically, we had a double top here, didn't we? She came up strong from, I'm going to presume these numbers are real, $3 to $8.50. Wow. You're looking at 260% run there. Came down, bounced off our dynamic duo. The 200 and the 50 MA came up to another top, our double top. We got an M there, M for murder. You normally see a fall at the end of the M's built. Boink, big fall. Right there on the 200, she came all the way back down. Been dribbling downhill ever since. Look at this. Not a whole lot of movement there at all. Come on down to our 5-day, 15 minutes. See if there's any hope of change here. Well, as I said, we had a fall about 5 days ago. I wonder if that was after the reverse stock split. We were at $7.73. It fell all the way down here to $1. Fell down to $1, and she's been bouncing, bumping around here. But look, that right there, that rejection, she did not try to get on top of the 200 when it got close and flat. Nope. And a day goes by, 2 days goes by, and this flat 200's over her head. Nope. It ain't going to just happen. Now it needs a catalyst. Now it needs a push. It needs prodding. And right now it just doesn't seem to have anything going on for it. So we need to see some money. That March annual 10K coming out, that's the only catalyst we got. If they come out with something in there, and one of the things I like to do, scroll all the way down to the bottom of it, these 10Ks and 10Qs, and look for subsequent events. It's at the very bottom. Subsequent events are things they could not get into the financial that happened either during or just after the financial that they may not even have news about, but they have to report it in the financial. If you get bullets, you get extra news down there. I find a lot of stuff in subsequent events on these 10Ks and 10Qs. All right, folks, let's jump on back. I'm going to come on over to you guys and just see if everything's tidy. See if there's any complaints here. No black screen. No, we can't hear you. Cool. Let's see here. Oh, who's this? I'm not going to say that name. Yes, I will. Chebarashka. Hello, Cherubashka. I said it once. We'll stick there. Palantir. Palantir had news today, didn't they? I think they even had news the other day. They've made 2 deals here recently, either collaborations or partnerships, mergers, something like that. They've had some news. So there's definitely cause to be looking at them. All right. We've got more stocks to look at, and we've got time to look at them. So let's go do it. I keep forgetting where I'm at. All right, let's jump into here. That be it. LifeWard, LFWD. I've been posting news about this company over the last year. I remember it because I haven't seen another company doing what they do. This is brought to us by Velmore. Thank you. This is a company in the healthcare sector. They deal with rehabilitation machinery, using AI to help people who have spinal cord injuries. They've had milestone news that came out today. They've got a catalyst, ton of volume that came from it. They've got a low float, which helped it to move quick. Their revenue is growing very strong, and I've covered the filing, so we'll save some time there. LifeWard is another American company based out of Massachusetts. Finished today at $1.60, currently up 8.8%. She jumped 13 cents today. Another hot penny stock on the major exchange. She is on the NASDAQ. Now, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but yeah, let's just go to the picture. I'm jumping over to their website here. This is a, what do they call it? RoboFlex. RoboFlex is a bodysuit that goes on your legs. It has a box on the back with AI and power. It's not just holding you like a brace. It's moving you. It's helping your muscles to move. They've got this wheelchair that goes over curbs and upstairs, and this other thing here for helping people to get strong. And they sell all of these things. Now, I did have another picture here. Did I keep it up? Let's see. No, the exoskeleton. That's what it is. And they keep improving on this exoskeleton. I remember when they had generation 3, I think we are now up to generation 7. That's how long I remember posting news on this. And I was posting pictures, remembering, wow, man, because I know of a man who had a motorcycle accident and became paraplegic. And it's like, God, man, to not be able to move at all and to see something like this is just amazing. Well, the company had news that came out today. The FDA issues clearance for the ReWalk 7 exoskeleton. The FDA clearance for the newest generation of the personal exoskeleton device, the ReWalk 7. Now, the company's been around for 2 decades. So that tells you how long they've been here, how committed they are. They're not going anywhere, and they're adopting the newest technologies. I mean, as fast as they come out, AI has already been incorporated into what they're doing. They give us a breakdown here of the catalysts that have been going on here recently. Clearance for the ReWalk 7 follows other major developments. In 2023, the FDA cleared the ReWalk 6 for use on stairs and curbs. That was that wheelchair. In 2024, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services issued national reimbursement policies for their products. That's always good. The company made history in 2014 when it received the nation's first FDA clearance for an exoskeleton medical device for individuals with SCL. So as I said, they've been on the forefront of this type of device and sector for a long time, and they're still growing strong. Life Forward will begin sales of the ReWalk 7 in the United States as soon as the product is available, though they don't give us a timeline when that's going to happen. So let's see what the relative volume was for the company today. Goodness gracious, a lot of excitement around the FDA's approval of the exoskeleton 7th generation, like, virtually 100 times their volume today, going from just over 1 million to just over 100 million. Share structure. We got, I'm presuming these are accurate. You can always jump into the 10Ks and 10Qs and find out. Outstanding share count is only 10 million. Wow. The insiders are going to own something in this company. This company's been around a long time. The insiders have been investing in it, holding it for a while. They're going to own something. Subtract that from the outstanding share count, and that's going to give us our float. We're going to have a low float. So this is looking good. Market cap currently is about 12.9, call it 13 million. Financials, they have been growing steadily every single year, nicely. All right, I correct myself almost every year. We go from about 6 million down to 5.5 and then jump fast to 13.8 million in 2023, virtually doubling that in 2024, almost hitting 26 million. And the profits are getting strong, fast. We're up to 8.2 million. It's about a 30% profit margin we see here. Taking a look at our quarterlies, 6, 5, 6, 6, 7. So they've been doing like 6 to 7.5 million. Right now they're on the high of 7.5 million. Profit has dropped a little bit. I don't know why that is, but they're always in the profit. So it looks good. Balance sheet. We got about 7 million in the bank. About 30 million in assets. Yeah. About 1/3 of that in liabilities. So we're holding roughly 19 million in stockholder equity. Everything looks good. Everything's in the black for the financials for this company. And disclosures, as I said, we already covered them. So we had a lot of volume just because they've been approved by the FDA, which means they can now sell the product, which is going to be bringing in more money. It's an exciting product, but you have to wonder, and I say this tenderly, how many people have spinal cord injuries? I mean, how big can the market really be? And for it to get bigger, more people have to get hurt. So let's move on over to the charts. LFWD, you're number 8 for me, right? Yes, you are. Oh, hold on now. Hold on, let's see if I can put those back. Nobody rang my phone. No, I'm not allowed to put them back. Son of a gun. That's okay. You know how easy these are to put back, folks? All I got to do is grab my Fibonacci because we got a big fall here. Poke the top, poke the bottom. Voila. There you go. We might have an extra one right there in the center, right? On that high right there. Bing. Okay, we're all good. All right, let's go on back. Now you know why I do this for Penny Boys. Getting supports and resistances, you start to find tricks. Get one at the top, you can see real easy. Get one at the bottom, you can see real easy. Once you get those horizontal lines on the board, the other lines start to come into view. It's like a hidden picture. So the far spread ones bring the tighter ones in. So yeah, I do this pretty quick all day long. Jumping into LFWD, Life Ward, jumping back to a full year's chart. She's been in a downtrend the entire year. We did have a reverse stock split just on the other side of this high bubble. So just a year ago, we had a 1-in-7 reverse stock split to put it where it's at now. Our high was $6. That was back in April of last year. She's hitting her head on the 200 haul. The 200 haul gets treated a lot like the 200 MA. Notice they've got the first same name. They're related to each other. Same strength, same power, same authority. The difference is the 200 haul is friendly. It relates to the price. It actually takes it into consideration in its mathematical calculations. So I think of it on a personal level. It has a relationship. And you see that down here, folks. Right there is where you see it. When you have a 200 squeeze and the price is in between the 200s and the price gets up on top of the 50, when that 200 haul turns blue, the price responds quickly, abruptly, going up like it has just been set fire. Boom! It takes off, and it normally goes to and through the 200. That's all because the 200 can relate to the price. So I pay more attention to what the 200 haul is doing than I do the 200 MA. It is just a huge speed bump. I just try to get it out of my way once and then concentrate on the 200 haul the rest of my trade. Come on down to our 6-month 4-hour view. Our 200's rolling around. She was rolling up here. She was flat right there. We had no attempt for a breakout. We're in between the two 200s. Nothing's going on. The 200 MA is falling. Our 200 haul is falling. Not a whole lot is actually happening here. Let me back this up just a little bit more. Yeah, let's get a little perspective there. All right, folks, what just happened there? Really, let's take a look. You see that line? It's purple and turned blue. Right there. What happened when it turned blue? What happened? It jumped big time to and through the 200. I'm not BSing you here, folks. Nobody talks about the 200 squeeze. It is the most common breakout because anytime a stock falls, this is what has to happen for it to come back. This is the launch. You come back to Earth, you got to launch to the moon. Getting on top of the 50 when your 200 haul turns blue is the launch pad for the rocket to launch. Is that proof? Not enough. Now, normally after it's broke out, it's going to come back down to the 200, maybe even lower to the 50 and bounce because it took a lot of strength, a lot of energy to not only climb that high, but to break the 200. So it needs refueling. It needs to rest. So get out. After it breaks through the 200, read your oscillators, read your MAs, but sell on the green. Sell while it's rising because you know it's going to come down. Me, I'd probably be looking at my ADX right here, and I would wait for the green line to top out at the very top. It doesn't go any further than 100%, and I'd watch for the bottom to hit my red line to hit the bottom and start coming up. When you see the green line tap out at the top, get out. You're still climbing normally. It's slowing down, though. That's a good signal to take your gains and move on. All right, let's zoom in on this chart a little bit. We're on the 1 hour. Let's come on down to our 5-day, 15-minute. Look at that. Aren't you glad you take your gains on the green up? She went up, came down, and never bounced. She broke through the 9, got underneath it, started falling, broke through the 20. Here comes the 9 through the 20. That's a black cross. When your smaller MAs start crossing bigger MAs, there it goes again. It's telling us it's falling. Now here comes the 20. The 20 is bigger than the 9. If it crosses that 200 haul or 20 or 50, more down pressure. And I'll tell you what, folks, going underneath the 9 tells you it's getting ready to fall and probably is. But when the 20 starts to fall, it follows the 20. The 20 is the locomotive. That's pretty much the direction decider where the stock is going to go. Right now, she's falling All of our oscillators are falling. The stock is looking pretty weak. We could hope, and I would think this is probable, that she's going to bounce on this 200. I see she's getting aftermarket activity. That would be the best case scenario. She was under the 200. She got way up here, and she graduated herself to on top of the 200. It is a good move. It was a strong move, and it puts her in position for everything to level out, get back underneath her, and start to climb again, which means you're going to have to wait. Wait for these MAs here to come back down underneath the price, go level, come up. That's going to be your entry if you like this stock. All right, let's take a look at another stock while I've got you captured here. We're going to take a look now at BKYI, BioKey International. I just posted news on them today. I can see it in my mind. I put some nice red highlights around it because their logo has a lot of red around it. This came to me by the Underdog. This is a biosecurity company that uses fingerprints for all your devices. Doesn't matter if it's a phone, computer, tablet. They use it on all sorts of things. And if your device isn't set up for it, they've got devices to hook into your device to make it work. Now, the one thing I did extra due diligence on with this company when I was looking at it was to see if they had gotten their fingerprint stuff on credit cards. I have read about a company. I haven't seen it out there, but I read a company that did have it. I was hoping it was this company. I think that would be hot. The fingerprint on the credit card activates the card to be used. So nobody can use it until the fingerprint's on it. It's not enough to have the 3 digits on the back. You got to have your thumb on it. I guess somebody could cut your thumb and take your credit card. That may be a problem. We'll talk about that later. So, right. What were the highlights for this company? Very low float, and their revenues are growing. So we've got another American company based out of New Jersey. I don't know why I did that. Let me go back. Is that a back button or just a here? All right, so I've already told you what they do. Let's get some information about this company. They used to work with tokens, I guess, a while back. I was reading a lot of their information. No more tokens. It is all strictly biometrics, working with your fingerprint. I think I had another picture here. Yeah, this is the one I really wanted to show you. These are people they're partnering with. You know, it's nice to have great technology, but if nobody's using it, who cares? Oh, it's going to be used someday. How long you had it? Since 2015. You got a partners list? Not yet. They got a partners list. Now, I don't know if that's complete, but that's a pretty good partners list there. I see a lot of big names in there. Coca-Cola, Hershey, IKEA. What is that? The DOD. No, the Department of Justice. Look at that. That's a big name there. DHL. This tells me that the company's got a product that is valid, that has useful applications, and they're getting business. They're getting money from these people, right? And they say they store your fingerprint in the cloud and they protect it. They go through a lot of information about how they protect all that information. Looks like I got one more piece of information here. Nope, we got more than one. Yeah, we do. First off, I wanted to show you that they are constantly getting contracts. More and more of them. I mean, that list right there was just a partial list. National Bank of Egypt enhances enterprise security. 3 higher education customers with 30,000 users migrates to BioKey. Wyoming Department of Education chooses BioKey. And then the most recent piece of news that came out today, BioKey partners with California EdTech, JPA, to make its identity and access management solutions available to 195 member institutions, serving a total of 2.6 million students. And everybody has to use it. It's not optional. It's not like these people get to choose. This organization goes and gets it. Everybody has to start participating in it. So all these are extra contracts adding on to their streams of revenue. How many more people are going to use it? No more tokens, no more passwords, no generating passwords. We're just going to use your fingerprint. You always have it with you. You're never going to lose it. Nobody else should have it. I know. I've watched Mission Impossible. People can make them, but let's get real. For the most part, it is pretty safe. Better than a password, which anybody could use anytime if they get. And let me see, is that, nope, that's going over there. Okie doke. So let's go see what our relative volume was for this company. We'll go back to a blank page. We had a nice jump today. I'm not going to say it was humongous, but going by volume, percentage-wise, we're what? 7 times her normal volume. That's a 700% increase, going from 220,000 shares a day on the NASDAQ to 1.7 million, trying to get respectable. Share structure for the company. Wow. As I told you, we've got a low float. Outstanding share count, they tell us, as of March, always look over here, see if that's within the date range. We're at 5.3 million. Insiders own about 800,000. We get the rest, 4.5 million. That's fine with me. We are under 10 million. That's a legitimate low float. So when this stock does 10 million in a couple days from now, I don't know that for fact, just saying. If they do 10 million, that means every stock would have to sell twice. If they do 50 million, every stock would have to sell 10 times in one day. Not everybody's selling their shares. Some are holding them. Some are holding them because they know there's a supply and demand issue now, and they're going to get more for it. And that's when you start getting the stock to run. But remember, low floats also run fast down, normally faster. Market cap for this company, we're at about 6.3 million. Are they making any money? It's always the real question. Yeah, they are, and they've been steadily increasing every year. No mistakes there. Back in 2020, we started at 2.8 million. At the end of 2023, we were at 7.7 million. Though we were making more profits with a whole lot less revenues back in 2020, but we are making profits. Taking a look at our quarterlies, what you got going on there? Well, our last quarterly report was pretty strong, actually. We were at 2.1. We've been just under 2 million for most of the quarters, and our profit margin was very strong this last quarter. Actually, this is September's quarter. They've probably either had or going to have a financial come out any time now. They're all due right now. Taking a look at the balance sheet for the company. We got about 1.8 million in the bank, 6.3 million in assets, 6.2 million in liabilities. What? I wonder how that math works out. Look at that. 6.3, 6.3. Let's just call it. It should be even. Okay, I was looking at that number. My bad. It gets a little blurry sometimes. We're at 133,000 up. It is stockholder equity. We're not holding a bag. Go take those 5.5 million shares that are in the outstanding share count. Divide those into that stockholder equity. That'll give you a ballpark price based on equity, what the stock's price should be. But there's a lot of ways to figure out the stock's price. Taking a look now at the disclosures. Did I make any mention of those? I don't know. We're only going to take a look at this one. It's old anyways. This is an SC13G. These are when a new investor comes into the company. This was back in December. An A at the end of it means it was amended. They had to change something for some reason, so you know it's not been current. Right here is who invested, how many shares they got, and how much of the company they got. They got 5% back in December, so that really doesn't do anything for us now. So let us go take a look now to see what BKYI is doing on the charts. I don't have to copy that. I did set this up to make things easy for myself. I try. I swear I do try. All right, BY. No, I left my lines at the last one. I keep panicking that I've done something wrong. Going back a year. Okay, we do have some lines here. We just couldn't see them because the price is so low. Anytime you see lines, it means I was looking at this at some point in time and normally above the bottom one. So we were looking at this when it was over $2, and right now we're just over $1. We had a big downfall over a year ago, and it took, quite a while to catch up. Once the 200 got level here, could have broke earlier. We did wait a long time. We had a breakout attempt, and it totally failed. Our 200 is still falling here. It's flatter, but it's not flat. She jumped here from $1.19 up to $1.27. Woohoo! Big rip. Came all the way back down, even lower than where she was, hitting that 52-week low of 52 cents. Came up off of that and slowly started working her way up. Got up on this 50, started getting some excitement, started jumping. Got up on top of the 200 here, going from $1.19 up to $2.67. You know what? That wasn't 2.7. That was 3. My bad, folks. Let me clean my glasses. Yeah, that went from $1.14 up to $3.14. Now we're talking. That was a $2 jump. Then it came down to 52 cents. Worked her way back up to 368. She has come back down underneath her 200 haul, and now she is breaking out again. We have got our 200 haul going over the 20. Our price is going over the, not our 200 haul, our 9-day is going over the 20, with the price getting up on top of all the big MAs. There's your 200 haul, 200 MA, and your 50. All the big ones are right there, and the price is pushing hard right now with a lot of volume coming in. And all of our oscillators on the yearly chart are very hot. Take a look at our 6-month 4-hour view. All right, you can see the bouncing around there. She's had some volatility. That's what you get with the low float. Quick jumps, quick falls. So we've got an atypical breakout setup here, a 200 squeeze. 200 is falling, 200 haul is climbing. They're coming together. Now, really, it doesn't matter. As long as the price is in between the two of them, it really doesn't matter. And when the price gets on top of the 50, this is when you get true excitement and you start getting some volatility. We had a big jump here. She went to and through the 200, came back down, bounced off her 20, and she's running again. And I am very confident with this climbing 200 haul, this climbing 50, and this rolling up 20, she's going to bust that 200 and rip now, folks. Lots of volume today. All of our oscillators are showing heat. Not a lot of heat, but they are definitely showing heat. Our 20-day 1-hour view, we're going to pay attention to this one. We had that breakout right here off of the 50 and the rising 200. She took off strong. That was after market. That's some news or something came out. You normally don't see a jump after market unless a piece of news came out, and there's nothing there to stop it from running. There are no halts after market, not for volatility. She came back down to that 9, and she bounced around way high, way up above that 9. I expect a fall when I see that. She can't fly. Boink. There you go. She fell right back down to that 9-day MA after being up there a long time. Came back down, fell all the way down to the 50, down to the 200. She held on to that for a couple days, and she's been hanging on to it. She got right down to the 200 here, and I like that. That right there is a fake out. They're trying, the big people in these stocks are trying to get people to sell their orders, buy at certain times. To me, that is a token sign that she was going to climb, folks. This is really up. Excuse me. This is up here on the 200 haul. Could be on the 50. It's hard to tell, but she's on those two. She has not moved. She threw this wick down through the 20, down to the 200, and popped right back up very quickly. This, to me, since she didn't stay down and came back up, says I'm ready to climb. I just needed to crouch to pounce. I needed some more leg room. I just can't go as high as I want from where I stand. So you bend your knees and you go. That is exactly what that is. I call that a pillar when that wick goes through other MAs. The more MAs, the harder I think and believe it's going to climb. So she did bounce right back up, got on that 9, took off. We were here at roughly $1.19. She went up to $1.38. She's come back down to the dynamic duo, and I think she's going to continue her climb here. I think she's going to continue bouncing on these 50 and 200 haul. Let's see if the 5-day, 15-minute agrees. Yeah, we're on a nice steady incline here. She had that rip, came down to the 200, bounced on it. She's coming down slowly to the 200. We've got nice even roll here. ebb and flow on our MAs. As long as they're doing that uphill, it's a nice steady climb. You're not going to have a scalp in it, but it's a good swing. This is looking like a nice swing trade to me. BKYI, if you're a swing trader, this is one to look at. They're getting a lot of commercial contracts. They've already got a bunch of them. We're probably going to be doing more and more fingerprint over password and everything else, considering that AI and quantum computers can break any password without a problem. You know, they can go through every combination possible in minutes. So you've got to give them something they can't get a hold of, your fingerprint, right? Okay, let's go take a look at what's going on over here. What you guys been talking about? You been sharing any hot stocks? Tell a little bit about Oh, I already answered. Did I leave that up the entire time? You need to ring my phone just so I peek around to see if anything's wrong. I miss Taylor. Speaking of Taylor, Taylor said she was thinking of coming back after she heard what happened last week. Not permanently, but she was kind of feeling for me. Glad I was able to jump in while you're live. Yeah, well, you never know what you're going to see. It's strange entertainment here. Thank you, John, for all you do. I've learned more about stock evaluations and TOS functions since I joined the Discord. Hey, I'm glad to hear you're over there at Discord. We do want to help you folks. And yeah, we are a paid-for Discord, but we offer a lot for free. That's where I work. I'm in the free section, folks. I'm the first baby step. I'm going to help you learn how to make money quick and easy. We're going to help you learn to make day trades. And then you're going to say, what do you know about options? I'm going to say, well, enough, but not enough to teach. But Ethan knows him, man. He plays the first 2 hours of breakout option trades. If that's what you're into, he's your man. And you can hire him for $40 a month. Now think about that, folks. Where else are you going to get a coach you can trust for $40 a month? And he's going to answer your questions and show you the tricks of the trade. I think it's outstanding. That's why I'm with this company, folks. I think it's a great, great group to be with. All right, enough advertising for penny boys. Let's go take a look at another stock. I wasn't trying to plug the company. I'm just really, I like working where I work. All right, I was given a choice. Yeah, I was given 3 stocks to look at, and I didn't just pick one out of the hat. I did go through 3 of the stocks, and I lean towards this one because it's an OTC. I do believe it's an OTC. Yep, OTC, and it's hydrogen. And I've got a fond spot for hydrogen. And I'm kind of glad I did come over here. She hasn't got a lot to offer. The company has a product that they created, invented, that can make hydrogen with, with only heat and water. And it is a very special way. You've got to get it hot and then cool it down, and then get it hot and cool it down at just the right zones. And boom, you got your hydrogen. If you do it too fast, you get oxygen coming out of the water instead of the hydrogen. So they found a way to do this by using recycled heat. You know, at your steel mills, your coal mills, or electric factories, these companies that already have lots of heat being generated, they can generate hydrogen without having to create any power to make that hydrogen. That's what they're working with. And they've got a patent application for that product. This is NEWH, New Hydrogen Inc. They're based out of California. This business description has nothing to do with them. So I do know, obviously, there was a reverse merger at some point in time. I don't know when it was. Could have been recent. Could have been a while ago. I don't know. So they have now got charge of this ticker, just haven't updated the description. They finished the day today just a little over 28 cents. They dropped 8.5%, which was 0025 out of their price. Wasn't a big drop, but it adds up. This is on the lowest tier of the OTC, the pinks. The pinks have no validated information, folks. That makes them the most dangerous stocks that you're going to invest in. I'm not saying every pink is a scam artist or not a legitimate trade. I'm saying they're dangerous because you have no information about their financials. You have no filings. You have nothing but news presses and management's word. So if you're going to do due diligence on a company, do it on the management. Learn as much as you can about the management. If you're getting into a stock to hold and it's a pink. Go look at the management first before you do anything else. The news is going to get you worked up. Of course it is. That's all they've got to work with. It's hype. Take the news with a grain of salt. I have lost more money on pinks than any other type of stock on the market because I didn't understand what the game was for the first 2 years. And I came in having a lot of money and I lost a lot of money. Now I know, and that's why I tell you folks. So pinks, they have only a pink can give you validated information if they choose to. They can actually uplist to 10Ks and 10Qs, even though they're on the pink. They have audited financials, but most of them only give you what's called a disclosure. They're just tallies, just receipts of what they've been spending, and we've got to figure out what they're worth. So keep all that in mind. The only validated information I've ever found comes from the OTC Markets website. I don't know any other site that does this. They will tell me if they have a transfer agent verified, which is real important. If they lose their transfer agent, your shares may not be moving. You may not have gotten the shares you just bought. That's what it's part of. The other one is a validated a profile. And I can't remember all that comes into that. But that's the only validated information you get on pinks. So I'm always looking for those two. We only got one right now. Now, that doesn't mean I won't day trade these or get in and out in a scalp. Absolutely. I will jump into a pump and dump. Look, I don't care why a stock is running. I pick a target to get out at. So I'm going to take my gains before they take me. That's the bottom line on those. Any moving stock is a profit taker if you take it while it's climbing. Don't wait for it to go red. Just take some and just do that over and over again. Find a strong runner and take some. Just be a little bandit. Don't get greedy and get caught there trying to take the entire store. Just take a handful of candy and get the heck out. So what did I find about this company? Get the right boxes up here. New Hydrogen is developing what they call thermo loop, a breakthrough technology that uses water and heat rather than electricity to produce the world's lowest cost green hydrogen, which is the cleanest and most abundant element in the universe. They grade hydrogens by green, blue, gray. What that means is how much carbon was produced to create the hydrogen, which has no carbon. It's, if you got to make it with coal, that's dirty hydrogen. Yeah, it's gray hydrogen. If you're using electricity, there's a little bit of carbon footprint still. That's blue. If you ain't leaving no carbon footprint, if you're not having to recapture carbon, that's the cleanest, green. That's what they got. And of course, they're using water, which is the most abundant element on the earth. We can use the water we're not drinking. We can use salt water to get our hydrogen. Absolutely can. So then we'd have 3 byproducts, maybe 4. You get hydrogen, you get oxygen, and you can get electricity, and you would get, what was that last one I was looking at there? Heat. You get heat. But in either case, hydrogen is the key ingredient in making fertilizers, to grow food. It is also used for transportation, refining oil, making steel, glass, pharmaceuticals, and a bunch more. Nearly all the hydrogen today is made from hydrocarbons like coal, oil, and natural gas, which are dirty and limited resources. Water, on the other hand, is an infinite and renewable worldwide resource. And it was up here that they told us using heat rather than electricity is simply a better way to split water to make green hydrogen. Heat is cheap. It can be found everywhere, including concentrated solar, nuclear reactors, and waste heat from industrial plants such as oil refineries and cement and steel manufacturing plants. Heat-based systems are more scalable and have the potential to be cheaper than electrolyzer systems. Got one more piece of information here. Not sure what it was. Their patent. The company has filed a patent titled Coupled Multi-Phase Oxidation Reduction for Production of Chemicals. What I was telling you about getting the heat up, capturing it, and then cooling it down, capturing it and cooling it down. It is that perfect synchronicity right there that captures the hydrogen. Too hot and it isn't working. Too cool and you're just not getting a reaction. This introduces a novel thermochemical method for splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen without relying on expensive electrolyzers. The proprietary process utilizes advanced solid state materials and machine learning driven material discovery to optimize efficiency and cost effectiveness. Machine learning, isn't that part of AI? I do believe it is. So, what was the relative volume around New H today? She's up maybe 80%, going from 3.4 million shares a day over the last 30 days to just under 6 million today. Share structure for New Hydrogen. Ow. We got a lot. We got just shy of 3/4 billion. We got 700 million shares outstanding. The insiders do own close to 10 million. We get all the rest, 695 million. That's a lot of bloody shares. Do I think they're going to do a reverse stock split? Well, first off, they may have already voted on one. Whenever you get into a pink and they have a lot of shares, first thing you need to do is go to Google, put in the ticker, put in the name of the company, put in split, consolidation, vote. You got that? That'll tell you if they voted on a stock split in any meeting over the last year and approved it. That normally gives the insiders, the management, discretion to use it anytime they want over the next year. So it covers your butt to know what may happen. You're holding the stock too long, you never know what could happen. She gets hot, she starts running, you're feeling good. Boom, the next morning you wake up, there was a reverse stock split. Everybody that also woke up with the same situation sells. That causes a drop. Now you're holding the stock that's falling that took all your shares, compounding your loss big time. So always make sure before you get into a pink about the management and see if they have a reverse stock split sitting on the books. When you get up near pennies, when you start getting popular, when you start moving on the charts, that's when a reverse stock split will happen if they've got one on the books. Now they say they're supposed to let us know, the markets say they have to give us 5 days forewarning. I post news about stock splits. They are posting it today saying they're going to do it tomorrow. Well, that's not 5 days. I don't know who's enforcing these rules, but don't expect 5 days just because they say they're going to give it. Market cap for the company, we're at 21 million. Financials for the company, they're not making anything annually, not making anything quarterly. They got 2.4 million in the bank, 2.5 million in assets. So all their assets is basically cash. They've only got $3,000 in liabilities. So, that's not fair. Look, 2.5 million assets, 3,000 liabilities. We should have had 2.5 million in stockholder equity. Instead, some more crazy numbers come into play here. And I don't know how they figure them out. They've always been here. But this time, we get $955,000 down. We basically got $1 million of stockholder deficit. So we've got no revenues, no profit, and stockholder deficit. This is a bag. That's what you'd be holding if you get stuck with this stock. So get in, take your gains, get out. Nobody wants to be holding a bag. And I'm sure there's no filings over here that I missed. This is from 311. Always poke your head into an 8K. These are material change. That is about their patent. That's on the news. I think I really did cover these. Yeah, that looks vaguely familiar to me. So let's go take a look at the chart for NEWH. Number 6. Going back a year, see what our 52-week high and 52-week low was. Wow. She's been flat for a long time. That's the 4-hour. Hold on now. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. No, it's as bad as it looks. She's been down there for a long, long time. She hit a low here, just tripped and fell. She got back up on her feet, but didn't go anywhere. Falling to a low of 0023. She hit that in November. Jumped here in January. She did make a move for the 200, started getting some life, started bouncing around in there. I'm sure there were some real life plays in there as well. But it wasn't until here that she jumped from about, let's call it 004 up to 3.5 cents. You're looking at 6, 7. That's like a 700% run right there. And I don't know what caused that run. No clue. She came all the way back down, fell through the 9, popped right back up. Notice our solid bar did not go underneath the 9-day, which is a good signal she was going to stay up there. And this long wick is just balancing everything off. She then just went sideways, getting her balance, and then boom, she took off again. She was here at a penny and a half and went to 3. Let's call that just a little over 100% gain, and she is still running with all the MAs pushing up right now away from that 200. All of our oscillators are strong right now, folks. Every single one of them is pushing hard or hot. Taking a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Not a lot different there. We can see she had that jump hitting a high there of 3.5 cents, came down to her 20. Never come down to the dynamic duo. Strange bounce here. Really strange. Came up, floated over her 9-day for days. I normally don't see a float last that long. She is still floating over it. I would expect a pullback like we had here. I would expect this to come back down to the 9 and the 9 to roll down and catch the 20 and then start to climb again if we can maintain our volume. It is the volume that's holding it. The volume pushed it here. Here the volume fell away. You can see she got flat. Volume came back into the picture. She rolled up. Volume don't come back in. Just expect to roll back down to the 20. That would be my best guess. Looking at our 20-day 1-hour view. These are beautiful pops. I would like to do some back testing. Go look at the filings, look at the news, see if there's a reason, see why this thing jumps so quick and why it jumps so hard. So she's up there on her 9-day. It's beautiful landing, right? She's not going anywhere. She's not trying to fall. Looks like she could be waiting for the 20-day to catch up. She gets anxious. She could fall to the 20 to jump early. Just because it's a fall doesn't mean it's a crash. Sometimes the price is just looking for something stronger to jump off of. A big kangaroo needs a big MA. That 9-day MA is as thin as a cracker. The 20-day is only double the 9-day. That 50 and that 200 are a lot thicker, especially when they're together. Take a look at our 5-day 15-minute. Ooh, look at that sideways activity. And look at the bounces getting smaller. We had a big jump, bounce off of the 20. She's hanging around the 20. Bounces are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Like when you make a big wave and the next wave is smaller, next wave. Then they go flat and then something happens to create another wave. That's what happened already twice. We're going to look for it to happen a third time. Is she going to dip? Yeah, she's probably going to dip because the volume's petered away. When that volume comes in, you better make a move quick because the price moves very quickly when the volume comes in on this. All right, let's see what is going on back home. I miss you guys. Hi, first time here. Well, hello, Mary Gatto. I'm glad to have you. We never know what's going to happen in my live shows. I should have it better organized, but my brain just goes in all directions. So sometimes I forget to change the page. Sometimes you have no volume. Sometimes I just have a brain fart. Forget what the heck I was talking. What was I talking about? I'm kidding. Glad to have you, Mary. We like to talk about hot penny stocks here. I'm looking for a place to get recommendations on penny stocks. Hey, go to Penny Boys. There's a link down below. I'm over there every single day from bell to bell, trading with people. We got lots of coaches over there trading with folks. We are there to help people trade. We're there to help teach you. So come on over. I'm sure that's going to be the ticket for what you're looking for. All right, let's see what time it is. First time I looked, isn't it? 5 o'clock. We're doing okay. I think I've covered 4 stocks. I've got one more, I think. Might actually be able to get to something here. Yes. I do believe this is our next one. I'm trying. Hold on, folks. I'm sorry. I hate that tunnel vision. That makes me sick. Okay. Do believe this is the last one I've got set up. It is. Mark Ryan, my compadre over there at Penny Boys. That guy, boy, he started watching my videos, started taking some of the stuff I said to heart, practicing, works through the day, and started doing scalps. Next thing I know, he's doing 5, 10, 15, 20 trades a day, scalping, way more wins than losses, using his risk to reward ratio. You lose 1/3 of how much you're going to win on any trade, so that you're allowed to lose 3 times. So if you lose 3, you're even. Can you say that with the way you're trading? Risk to reward ratios. And he does real well over there, shares hot stocks. He's he's going to surpass me. He has time to study, I guess. But Mark brought us a hot stock, MCRP. This is a company from the United Arab Emirates and Arabia. They make rolling robots and cameras for security. They just IPO'd March 7th, and they IPO'd with only 3.8 million shares. I think that's all they've still got. MCRP, based out of the United Arab Emirates. This is Micropolis Holdings Company. Finished today at $4.24, was up 66.66%. That is $1.69 to you calculating. This is a hot penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, they just came on the market, so there isn't a lot to talk about, but I do have some information I can share with you here. That's not it. We'll jump over their website. These are their robots. Now, of course, they've got a camera. The camera, do you really need a picture of a camera? Ta-da! There you go. They've got these robots, and everything is built down onto the bottom, all the brains. Everything up on the top are different pods. They build pods together, and I've got inside gut picture here to give you an idea. This is what they look like. They put all of the moving parts inside. One of the pods is for a drone. So you could have a drone inside your pods. They've got lots of different pods. I don't know what all of them are, but they build them up to specifications for whatever it is that you need. And of course, these can be used for any sort of thing. Whatever somebody wants to use it for, it can be used for that. Let me see. Did I have actual news here? No. Nope. All I've got is this, and this was about them coming onto the market. Micropolis is a robotics manufacturer founded in 2014, based in the UAE, with its headquarters located in Dubai Production City, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It specializes in developing AMRs that utilize wheeled EV platforms and are equipped with autonomous driving capabilities. As part of Micropolis's product offerings, it integrates application-specific pods that serve as the primary purpose of a robot. These pods are designed to accommodate various functionalities, including surveillance, road sweepers, logistic compartments, as well as collaborative robots, which they call cobots. I guess that could be drones, intended for direct human-robot interaction. So that's all the information we really have. You want more, you can probably dive into their website to get it. Take a look at the relative volume for Micropolis. I got to say, I like that name, Micropolis. Is it Batman? Yeah, Batman. That's what's coming to my mind right now. And I'm a Batman fan. He's a human hero. I like Batman. So the company over the last 30 days has only been doing 28,000 shares a day. But then they've only been on the market since March 7th. Today, though, they did 3.6 million. I'm not going to do any calculations there. It's a big jump. They're getting respectable up on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, looks like some more shares came from somewhere. Now, wait a minute. No, this is from 2024, 30 million. They say they came onto the market with just a little over 3 million shares. I didn't see any filings or anything that said more shares have been put out. I'm sticking with that, folks. I think we still have a float just under 4 million, maybe a lot less than that. I don't know what the insiders own. Market cap, we're at, well, I can't trust that either because they're going to be going by these numbers here. Yeah, 30 times 4. No, that's not right either. That's 2025. So if we were to divide this by 4.2, that would be, I'm not doing it. My brain's hurting. So it looks like that could be the market cap. 76 million, quite possibly. Taking a look at the financials. Are they making any money? Well, at the end of 2023, they had 157,000 on the books. They got to keep 50%. It was a split right down the middle. I like that profit margin. We don't have any quarterlies yet. They haven't been here long enough. I'm surprised we have any financials, to be honest. Cash and cash equivalents, we got $50,000 in the bank. 2.8 million is what they say the company is worth right now. And they've got liabilities just about 4 times that much. So we are holding stockholder deficit in a company that isn't making a whole bunch of money and isn't making any profit to talk about, of about 5.5 million. So it's not looking too good from a swing trader's point of view. You hold a stock, you want it to have some value. You want it to have something, unless it's got a strong catalyst coming. Let's see what our disclosures are for the company. 6K. For just glancing, I just take a quick glance, look at the bold headline up at the top just to see what's going on. This is going to be news, underwriters agreement. Underwriters agreement. This is for more shares to issue and sell in aggregate. This was the, let's see if the date here. For the month of, yeah, that's them IPOing. So we got nothing new here, folks. That's everything we got except the chart, which is my favorite part of doing due diligence. So let's go take a look at, I don't remember the ticker, but I've got it here. MCRP. Whew, thank God for that. Take a look at our yearly chart. Well, what am I doing? It's only been on the thing for 10-day chart there, folks. That gets us to their first day on the market. They came on at about 349. Nope, they came on at 390, about $4 and fell. Bink. Immediately. Red bars just read at the top. They close at the bottom. Green bars open on the bottom, close on the top. Don't think they're all closing on the top. That ain't right. So she fell all the way down here to 349 from $4 and then just started drooping till we hit 231, bounced back up, back into our downtrend, never hitting that low again, circling back around. We had our MA start appearing. Here's our 20. She's hugging it as she's falling. Here comes our 50. That's brand new. Once she got onto the 20, she jumped hard from 275 up to 442, her new 52-week high and her 52-week low. She is floating on that 9-day MA. We've got one little red bar there, a dojo. You got wick to the top, wick to the bottom. Even bar in the middle doesn't really mean a lot. It's the next bar that's going to tell you what's going on. Not a whole lot. It's the next bar that's going to tell you what's going on. She's biding time. She's not doing a lot. She's waiting for things to just gradually change. But look at all the volume that came in today, right up till the end of the day. We can't see the volume right now, but there's volume there. She is trading. All of our oscillators are strong and still showing heat on the table, though there is a little bit of coolback. Come on down to our, let's go to the 5-day, 5-minute. Well, as you can see, she got very strong today. No catalyst. She just decided to jump here at, what is that, about just before lunch. Just before lunch, as our 200 is going flat. That's about the only thing I can see here. The 200 is a new MA on the board. The prices likes to gravitate, I guess that's the best way to say it, to a new MA. And it doesn't matter if the price is below it or above it. In 6, 7 out of 10 times, you'll see the price go to it. And sometimes it'll stay there. Sometimes it'll continue to go in what it's doing. Here, it was climbing. She jumped from 283 to that 482, fell back to her 20. She's bouncing on the 20. Here come our other MAs, the 200 haul and the 50 MA. She's bouncing off of those. This looks good for continuation to me. You got all the MAs there. She waited till they all caught up, showing patience. She did not fall. And all of our oscillators are showing a lot of strength, especially our ADX. Your green line shows you your positive trend up. Your red line, your negative trend down. Whichever one is over top of the other one is the dominant trend. Green is dominant. The yellow line tells you how strong your dominant trend is. This is a fixed graph. 0 on the bottom, 100% on the top. We're at 50% right now. Indecisiveness. Right now is where it starts to grow. Everything looks like it's ready to grow. I'd be putting this on my watch list for tomorrow. She looks like she is ready to pop. Remember though, take your gains. I am more of a scalper now instead of a swinger, especially with Trump. Every night he comes out with something, and every night the market has a swing one way or the other. So I am a scaredy cat right now. Don't have a lot of swings unless I get trapped. I got out of my Apple put today. It was good for one more day, but I don't know what's going to happen tonight. It could continue to fall. I could have made more. I'm not greedy. That's what hurt me. Greed hurts so many people. That takes care of everything I had here. You know, I wonder if I can get rid of all of these at once. Delete. All right, let's see here. Close all those tabs. That didn't close anything. No, cancel. I want to keep you. Yay. Whew. Look at all my tabs disappeared and you're still here. Thank God. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, we're good. Oh, I left that up. God, I need AI assistance. I need a woman here to assist me. So what time is it? 5:16. We got time to do one ticker. My voice is kind of hanging in there. So let's see. First one we had come in was Tilray. Didn't we look at Tilray not too long ago? Tilray is the largest cannabis company in the world by footprint. Curaleaf is the largest cannabis company in the world by market cap, by revenues. I think they are $3 billion. Tilray is not just a cannabis company, though, a Canadian cannabis company at that. They are selling cannabis in many, many places around the world, as I said. But they are also dealing in beverages, hard liquor, beer, THC and CBD beverages, even soft drinks. They are selling these in Canada and the USA. They are the 5th largest craft brewery in the United States. They just bought 8 subsidiaries from Anheuser-Busch. They bought Sweetwater and they bought a few more. So this is a company that is diversified, not just cannabis. And they have a double dippings into the sin stocks. Sin stocks are stocks that run regardless of the economy. Good economy, bad economy, they run. These are your vices, your cigarettes, tobacco, maybe cannabis now, alcohol, entertainment, gambling, because people need their vices. They need entertainment or they're going to go crazy. So these things are always selling, always. No matter how much they raise the price of alcohol to make people quit buying it, it just takes food out of the children's mouth. That's all that does. So we're not going to cover Tilray. PLTR. Is PLTR? I don't think PLTR is a penny stock, is it? Let's see here. I know you can't see, but before I grab you over here, PLTR. Go. No, they're $80 a stock. So no, we can't take a look at them. I know they were the big. They've got a lot of news right now, and the news is with stocks that are much, much cheaper. Let me see. Anybody here got a penny stock for me? You guys weren't sharing stocks. You know, I kind of hope that you guys will be sharing stocks with each other, not to show off, but to get more people involved. The more hot stocks we hear about, the more hot stocks we have on our watch list. And the stocks that move, we're all going to be jumping on them together if we are watching them together. That's why we use watch lists. Volume is your ticket. If you hear that whistle, you know the trains are coming. So when you see volume, get ready, folks. It doesn't cost you anything to make a watch list. I've got lots of watch lists, maybe too many. But we just did a video on quantum computing because quantum just did its first practical application in the world. After the NVIDIA CEO said it wasn't going to be able to do anything for 20 years, it just did 2 of them with agricultural equipment and with magnetic resonant materials, as we were just talking about with one of our companies here, BKYI. Quantum's going to get hot now. You should go out and make a quantum list, a quantum stock list, and just have quantum stocks on it. Because normally when one runs, that is such a small, tight sector, they all start to run. It's worth the time to do, folks. All right, I think I'm going to let you guys go since my voice is going anyways. I could have used a drink. Beer. Root beer. I appreciate your time, folks, and I'm glad we got through this show. Hopefully, we looked at a couple of stocks that caught your interest. There are a couple of stocks that have caught my interest. I'll put them on my watch list tomorrow. And if you show up at Penny Boys tomorrow, it's easy to find where I'm at because they named the page after me. We just renamed the page today. It's called Stock Wizards Momentum Plays. It'll be on the left-hand side. You'll see the menu over there. Just find the Stock Wizards name. I do news and I do trades. So I would love to see you over there. If you show up, please introduce yourself. Say hi. I would love to talk to the people that watch me. Seems I'm doing all the talking. Thank you, folks. I'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Same beer. Damn it. See you, folks. Why did I do that?